Okay, so just an update on the Moto Guzzi V85 TT. It's been, I guess, a slightly frustrating last month on it, really. The reason being that after a ride and after I cleaned the bike, I noticed there was oil. There was some oil sat in the rim, and because there's kind of a well-known recall and issue with the final drive output, in which case I've seen some pictures of oil coming down and pooling on the rim. I kind of assumed that would be the issue, because I'd wipe it off and then again it'd pool a little bit later. I don't mean pool as in a river, but certainly some dampness. And so I didn't ride the bike. I'm not riding the bike for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd got it booked in to have it looked at, and it turns out there's nothing wrong with the final drive and it's not leaking. What they spotted is kind of bizarre, really. I can't quite put my finger on it. There was some sort of like oily residue on the fins on both sides, and also it was sort of down here, and they attributed it to something I sprayed on it to keep it clean or clean it, or rust prevention, and I had used like an ACF 50 alternative, but it doesn't come out oily. But I've cleaned it all down, so I brought it back from the dealer a little bit miffed, really, I suppose, because I thought, well, I don't really want a bike that's got oil sat in the back rim. But I've cleaned it all down with some really good cleaner and got rid of any oily residue as I could see. I took it out yesterday for a spin, and yeah, so far all good. There's no residue anywhere, there's no oil leak, there's no seepage, nothing really. So I think it's a mystery. So for now, just crack on, really, get some miles on. The sun's out today. What I'm doing today is fitting these Bumot panniers. So these were panniers that I had on the V-Strom 1000 last year, the long-term test bike from Suzuki. So I got these fitted. I kept hold of them. Cliff at Adventure Bike Shop, who's sort of loaned them me, he said keep hold of them. And when I told him I'd got a V85 TT, he said, well, they're just working on a new set of frames, and I'll send you some when they come through. So Cliff's just sent me some frames over there. Just going to mount them on now. It's pretty straightforward to mount. It looks like just to take this off, and it bolts through there, and then into the pillion pegs. So it does seem as though I will have to leave these on. I was hoping I could maybe get rid of these pillion peg supports just because they're a bit ungainly, but it looks like they're mounting points for the panniers, so pannier frames. Just see if I can. So yeah, same on that side. So there and there. So I'll do a little update as I go along, and then take some photos when they're all updated. But otherwise, you know, I was out on the Guzzi yesterday, and it is a nice bike. It's got a lot of character to it. I still like the engine note and the rock that you get on the throttle and the sound of it. And I like that. I do like the look of it. I did have a moment where I thought I maybe should just have swapped it or bought a GS 1200 in the first place, but I think I've just got to. Now I'm over this like oil weepage, I'm just going to get on with it, put some miles on, get it across America, all being well in August, coronavirus notwithstanding, and yeah, that's it. Alright, update soon. How good does that look without the rack on? Looks much neater, actually, without that lattice work at the back. Nice that. Shame you got to. I guess you don't have to refit it, really. You could fit the bolt straight through without putting the rack back on. You can leave the rack off. The only thing obviously is the rack's pretty handy for putting a dry bag on the back, but yeah, if you want a sleek V85 TT, take that rack off. Nice that. Okay, so what we've got is a series of bolts and fasteners and spacers, which are probably going to sit in there or behind there. Sorry, behind there, and then that's going to line up there, and down there. There's no instructions with it, but it should be self-explanatory. I like what's on this side. It's a cut around frame, so it does go around the exhaust, and it marries up to this pannier on this side. So you do lose some capacity having a cut out, but it does mean that you keep your panniers nice and tight to the bike and within the width of the handlebars, which I much prefer to having a big wide expansive pannier. So I'll bolt them on and see how she looks, and then that's it with the panniers in place. I think I've got a 38 left and a 31, a 38 right and a 31 left. Just because it's got that recess. They open outwards like that. So I like that because you can put shoes or things in there. Plenty of space down there, and then you've got that on both sides. And also optional sort of bag inserts to go in. Also lockable quick release, just goes like that. So that's it. Nice set of panniers. All I've got to do now, cool cover for the seat, and that's about it really. Look at this for a cool little spot, just down on the toll road, just between Porlock and Lynmouth in North Devon. So you pay £2 and it's just a stretch of road that comes up through this ravine and alongside this river. Nobody else on it. I bet it's beautiful in summer. I'm not sure how tight and twisty it's going to be, but yeah, it's kind of really off the beaten track, really good. I'm just out on the Guzzi. The Guzzi's running well. No sign of any leaks or anything of that kind. Yeah, I guess the only negative is it's got a terrible lack of mudguard, so your engine gets absolutely filthy. So that's probably the only gripe at the minute. Running really nice, really enjoyed it actually. It is kind of pokey, it handles well, nice and balanced, and good brakes, and comfortable, and sounds good. And it's got the panniers on it now. I've got the Bumot Defender Evos on, which I think look quite nice on it. So yeah, we're just going to crack on and get home really. So about 45 minutes from home. Get there before it gets dark. So there we go. This is my form of self-isolation, and I hope everyone's okay. Over and out.